Hey, what's going on, fight fans? It's me, Logan Sama, back once again for EsportsGG, and this time round we are taking a look at another incredible moment in competitive Street Fighter V. We're going to be looking at the grand finals of the very recent Capcom Pro Tour France, Spain and Portugal qualifier, in which Mr. Crimson was able to secure the spot at Capcom Cup 8, beating out former EVO champion and French great Luffy in the grand finals. It's an incredible set. Let's take a look at what happened. In the history of European Street Fighter, Luffy is a modern great. The first European to ever win a title in Street Fighter at the EVO World Championships and a consummate competitor at the Capcom Cup Finals. And whilst Mr. Crimson has the honour of winning the first ever official Capcom Pro Tour event for Street Fighter V back in 2016 in France, it's his recent achievements that are really getting everyone's attention. These two players met very recently, in fact, offline at the Red Bull Kumite, which of course Mr. Crimson won, but it was an incredibly tight set. The two players battled back and forth in a 1-to-4 that went all the way to the wire, 7th game, last round, last hit. But in this instance, Mr. Crimson came out on top. I spoke to Mr. Crimson about his record against Luffy in recent times and how confident he felt going into this grand finals, fighting out of the loser side after a shock defeat to his training partner Akainu in the top 16 bracket.
This is a weird thing because we have a French league and he beat me the past time like 5-0. I win at the Red Bull Comité last match, last round. I win yesterday, last match, last round. So every time I cannot be confident, especially against Mika and also against Luffy.
I want to kick off this analysis by looking at the first round of the first game in the first set of this grand finals, because this is a perfect example of exactly what Dalsim players fear in this matchup. You're going to see Dalsim open up the game just using his mid-range normals, medium buttons and heavy buttons, medium punch, medium kick, roundhouse, medium kick again, and he's going to be anti-airing nice and safely with crouch and medium punch. No real big damage. Immediately evades a command grab, and he is back to zoning. He's got a big life lead here, and he is going to punish Luffy for getting in over and over and over, using that EX Yoga Fire as a way to control and get some frame advantage. He's got a huge life lead, but look at this. A big mistake. EX Flame -8. He gets punished and put in the corner, and this is exactly where he doesn't want to be. Big crush counter, and you can see the stun building up there. One command grab. This is a looping situation as well. There is the second, and it's stun. Out of nowhere, he's literally lost that round in the space of about 10 seconds. And that is absolutely what Mr. Crimson is scared of in this matchup against Luffy. Luffy knows that, and he plays to that to a T. The consummate gambler, he is willing to take almost any risk to get in and to stay in. And we're going to take a look at that right now. As well as being able to change her jump arc with the splash, which is punishable on block, but not massively so against Dalsim, Luffy is incredible at using his tools in the neutral. And the biggest tool for him in this matchup, I feel, is Mika's dropkick. You're going to see here early on the crush counter on the startup of the normal from Dalsim. There's the EX Peach juggle as well, straight to the corner, and it's a bad time for Dalsim. He wants to avoid that. Another crush counter, another EX Peach, another corner. Even on normal hits, he still gets a great conversion into the target combo, normal shooting Peach, and again cornered. And being put in the corner for Dalsim is a terrible situation. He doesn't have a 3-frame to interrupt with any of her pressure, doesn't have a proper reversal, and he has to make a hard read on teleporting out. These drop kicks were building up, and he was having a huge amount of success with them early on until Mr. Crimson started introducing some really good answers. Let's take a look at some of those responses that Dalsim's able to use as soon as Luffy shows that dropkick in the neutral. So here we are in the third game, and you're going to see a really nice slide on reaction to the dropkick, and another slide causing it to whiff, in fact, and get a combo into pressure. Another answer shown was a teleporting, causing causing it to whiff and then getting a nice whiff punish. And then finally sliding underneath into the conversion, big CA and a large chunk of damage that time around. Using Dhalsim's slides a really effective way because it goes underneath regardless of whether it's charged or not. It's very difficult for Mika to actually connect with the dropkick if you're ready with that slide at that range. And as soon as Crimson was able to start introducing those answers, it really forced Luffy to change his game plan and start to play a little more erratically and take some real big risks because he had less and less ways of getting in, and it was even more important for him to stay in when he was able to get close to Dhalsim. One of the scary things about our Mika when she does get in is she has something we call looping offense on command grabs, which means she can command grab you, an untechable throw, and she also puts you in a situation where she can command grab you again. One of the things that really stood out though was Mr. Crimson's ability to read those command grabs and get out frequently. Now in a longer set, these command grabs pose a bit of a bigger risk because you start to introduce patterns and predictability. In shorter sets, these command grabs in 2 out of 3s, they can really do some big burst damage and turn the tide in, stealing around, bringing a round back, as we can see here. However, Crimson was consistently able to make the right read with backdashes, teleports, and just interruptions on these command grab attempts, and it meant that Luffy really found it hard to maintain continual pressure. He was often being forced to return back to neutral, which is a situation that is not favourable for Mika in this matchup. In our previous video about Mr. Crimson's win at Red Bull Kumite, we highlighted the use of V-Shift, and unfortunately V-Shift is not as useful when you're in the corner. It can be baited out and punished heavily, and it doesn't really get you anywhere. It doesn't get you any escapes. The most important thing for Mr. Crimson is to try and get out of that corner, and we see that later in the set when he tries absolutely everything. We spoke to Mr. Crimson and asked him about his defensive choices and the stubbornness that he showed. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
So I think there is a really important thing in Street Fighter is to understand that you can, like you say, you can lose from a good choice, but you have to accept that sometimes you will lose because of that, and you have to stay composed and stay calm and do the choice that you want and the choice that you need to do. Also, conditioning is really important. Like, for example, you can show to the opponent that you don't want to get a command grab like first to 3, so you can do it like 3 rounds, and after that you can accept to block, and this pressure will end and you will be able to backdash out of it and go back to the neutral. And don't miss any opportunity to go back to neutral, even if it means that you will sacrifice a bit of health, because the neutral is so important.
This led to Luffy taking some real risks in neutral. He started predictively throwing out EX Shooting Peach, as you can see, to try and use the armor to go through normals. That didn't come, it was blocked and punished. And Crimson was just generally really good at maintaining his composure, although there were some instances in which he was incredibly stubborn in his defense. He was refusing to take the grab.
The drill puts him back into the corner. Brimstone counter hit conversion. Stun is racking up. He wants to get out. He's not able to.
And you can see here how he's getting counter hit over again. He's getting hit and air reset. That's because he's backdashing. He's trying to jump out. He's trying to teleport out. He wants to do anything he can to let Luffy know he will not sit still, even though he does still get grabbed.
Even if I lost because of this decision, he will have in his mind that I don't want to get a command grab, and it will be harder for him to know when I will stop to do that.
Of course, we still saw some of the amazing combos that we've seen Dhalsim players execute as of recent. We've got some great loops, some amazing stun combos, and some brilliant whiff punishes into some big damage. It's always exciting to see Dhalsim with the free-flowing offense, and his damage output is truly scary with the right resources.
Yeah,
Stuffed the charge dropkick. Yeah, I don't know if he was looking for the V-shift.
But he wasn't available at the time, so that was a bit weird to me.
I'm not sure it was.
Oh, he's dead.
Crimson was able to bring it back and reset the bracket, but he found himself 2-1 down again, set point down again. But it seems like this is the moment in which he truly let go and found his confidence. Let's hear what he had to say.
It's weird. I wasn't really like it's gonna be difficult or anything. It's just okay, let's play against Mika. Let's see what I can do. Let's do what I know about the matchup, and we'll see what happens. I'm just gonna press, I'm just gonna answer you, play my game. If you win, you win. GG's.
Also in this second set, we started to see Mr. Crimson revert to using the EX Yoga Fire more as a zoning tool that he was happy to, use to maintain control of that horizontal plane and start to put normals behind it and really make Luffy second guess his approaches, force him into the air. However, in one moment when he did choose to teleport in behind the EX Yoga Fire, very fortunately for him, at set point, which would have been the tournament, Luffy guessed the wrong side on his EX wingless aeroplane input and gets hit here for the round, and that is a set point saved as we go into the final game.
And the bomb Gale. He's just running away right now.
We continue to see Luffy play stubbornly, his command grabs seemingly not working here again. But in the final moments, it seemed like Luffy lost his mind and bet it all on this frame trap.
The frame trap again. He risked it all.
Now I want to talk about this moment in depth because we saw him do it earlier on in this set. And it might just look like he did a full combo on block for no reason in the heat of the moment. However, this is a real frame trap. Let's take a look at Mika and Dhalsim in training mode and break down this moment because it was very important. Target combo here you can see is -5 on block. That's a real punish for Dhalsim. He's going to press his light kick, get his punish in, and you can see it's guaranteed. However, if Mika chooses to cancel into medium shooting peach here, it's actually a frame trap and counter hits Dhalsim on startup and would beat out his punish.
Oh, the tip of the Gale! That's punishable!
Oh my god, he's going to the corner. He hasn't got any resources, the frame trap again.
So whilst it is a big gamble, in these moments in which you feel like your opponent is desperate to close it out, going for these guesses is something you will see high level players do, whether it's a wake up flash kick from Daigo's Guile, EX DP from Takedo, an EX Rasenha from Punk. They will make these hard reads in these moments when they feel like their opponent is definitely going to go for it. The read this time around from the gambler himself, Luffy, was wrong. Not only does the house win this time, but Mr. Crimson wins, and he is going to be the one that is taking the first slot at Capcom Cup for France in this CPT event. They will be back, though, later in the year, and Crimson did have something to say about whether he was going to enter again.
Yeah, I will probably try OO. Right now I have like a kind of deal with ugly old men, so I will try to play him and to annoy people. He looks to have good tools, so I can try to try him.
And whilst Luffy was talking about bringing out a secondary, we didn't see that this time round. We might see some other characters from him in the next CPT for France, Spain and Portugal. We'll find out later in the season, but I hope you've enjoyed that breakdown from myself. Don't forget, make sure you're following at esports on Twitter, or check out esports.gg online for all the latest and greatest esports coverage in the world of competitive gaming. And I'll be back next time for more Street Fighter V breakdowns. Thanks very much.